Hey folks, it's Eric here in Mexico outside of this tattoo studio, and I wanted to make this video about why I do not have tattoos. Because, well, I have lots of friends who do, and it seems to be a thing that's very popular among people that I like. And I also have lots of friends who also don't have tattoos, and whether or not you're a person that has tattoos, you may agree or disagree with me about my reasons, but I encourage you to understand my perspectives on this subject, which are very personal, right? So, number one, I'm afraid of permanence. Number two is I have other ways of expressing my personality, and which are, I believe, less superficial. And number three, well, I'm a snob. So let's go into number one, permanence. I would like to sort of emphasize that I am a work in progress as a human being, and that my tastes are always changing, my personality is always changing, my identity is always changing. And I do not feel that tattoos, if I get tattoos, that they would be able to be who I am in the future with me. It's like taking a moment of time and crystallizing your taste at that moment, the thing that you want to be represented by, or the thing you want to include in your identity at that moment, tattooed onto your soul in such a way. So some of my friends have had tattoos regarding where they were born and their name and stuff like that. I mean, you can't change where you were born, and so I think that's a very good tattoo, because that essentially is tattooed on you in a certain way. And yeah, right, the whole subject of permanence. Imagine if I got a tattoo when I was 5 years old. My favorite TV show at that time was Ghostbusters, which is, with the logo with the ghost and the little cross through it. I'd be very embarrassed to have that tattoo now. This is the example that my dad always used. I was raised to not like tattoos, and I'll get to that later, why. The snobbery of it. And basically, yeah, I'm really big on art and all that stuff, and being an artist and being eccentric and all that stuff. And when I see people that do have tattoos, I do immediately, if they're good tattoos, immediately assume that they're really cool people that I'm going to get along with. If they're bad tattoos, it could be the opposite. But this sort of gets me to the next one. I mean, you can say with the permanence, just to sum up permanence, yeah, but you should only get a tattoo once you're an adult. But what counts as an adult? Because, I'm in my 30s now, and the person that I was when I was in my 20s is very different than who I am now, even though there are some common themes, and I like a lot of the same stuff as when I was a teenager, when I was in my 20s and stuff like that. I have evolved, especially my self-expression. And so I don't think that tattoos would age with me that well, and I like to be free to be a chameleon, and having a tattoo limits that possibility of how you're going to represent yourself and your identity in the future. And also you get permanently, if it's visible in a certain place, permanently categorized in the category of someone with a tattoo, which for a lot of us who don't have tattoos, because of the reasons that I'm outlining, that's kind of like a different category of human being from us. It separates us, the people who have tattoos, and the people who don't, and the sorts of beliefs that lead to that are different than the beliefs that I'm expressing in this video. Number two, other ways of expressing my personality. I mean, a lot of people notice how eccentric I am and how different from the masses I am, how weird, and I guess in some ways artistic in some aspects, like my music and all that stuff. And I feel that I can express that in the way that I speak, in the way that I look people in the eyes, in the way that I behave. And the way that I broadcast myself to this world does not need to be aided. To give people the full force of who I am, I've got a really strong character. To give people the full force of who I am does not require tattoos. And to be who I am does not require tattoos. And to be comfortable in who I am doesn't require me to display things to other people in a way that seeks any sort of validation. My confidence in myself and my confidence in my own uniqueness and how serviceable my personality is in this world doesn't need the aid of that sort of thing. I feel that just by looking in my eyes, you can tell a lot more about me and feel a lot more of who I am and my identity than any tattoo I could possibly get, could possibly have. And a lot of people, you know, they just get just about anything tattooed on them because it looks cool. I feel that meaning should be broadcasted directly from the core of your soul. And there are things that you should really be believing in. And that's how you should construct your identity. Not by what other people around you think looks cool or makes you look like you're a part of a certain tribe or group or type of subculture and all that stuff. I believe that by having a tattoo, again, you're putting yourself in the category of people who have tattoos, and that's less unique than having no tattoos. So it's like maybe in a place where tattoos have gotten really common over the last few years with millennials, right? And now not having tattoos is almost like the new tattoo because, you know, it basically just says I'm an open canvas and I'm gonna be a chameleon. I'm so diverse in my character and so not part of the tattooed masses that I'm going to, you know, be able to change how I express myself and stuff like that. I think you get what I'm saying. There's lots of ways to express yourself, and most of them involve personality, and having ink on your skin doesn't necessarily connote much about your personality. Although it can. Definitely can. It's a way of broadcasting, but it is a way of broadcasting that says, I want everybody else to look at me and think something about this. Whereas I don't give a shit. Whatever. The person that I'm most out to impress in this life is myself. And the way that I impress and express myself is through richness of experience. And sharing that with other people is done through words, through these videos, through my music, through the structures that I put in place, the actions that I do. And it's, you know, that's me. And I'm fairly confident in that. And that, I guess, takes us to the last sort of point of this video. I am a snob. It's hard to explain this, but in the societies where I grew up, in this sort of traditions, cultural traditions, having tattoos is something that is mostly undertaken by lower class people. And people who are, you know, higher in social status usually do not have tattoos. At least this is the case in Canada and, you know, the sort of Austro-Hungarian Empire that my father's family came from. Those areas, I mean, I think it's kind of for the first two reasons that this became a belief, but it's almost like having a tattoo brands you as the lower class. And so it's a certain snobbery, and I'm not going to go into this much more, but when you think of presidents, when you think of influential businessmen, it's more likely than not that they won't have tattoos, that they'll have expressed themselves in this world in a different way. and that their confidence comes from achieving things in life, not by, you know, getting something on their arm that shows them to be a part of something or shows who they are to the world. They show who they are through the world, through their actions, through their social status, through their wealth, through their decisiveness, through, you know, all of that stuff. And I was raised in the upper middle class of Toronto, Canada, and it definitely rubbed off on me, those reasons. And I think those reasons are what I expressed in this video, the kind of reasoning here. At its core, yeah, I'd say that permanence is the number one thing, and number two is the different ways I have to express my character, and number three is the sort of snobbery that was ingrained in me, that you know, people like us of our social class do not get tattoos. I would say if you want to get a tattoo, you know, make sure you're really happy with it being permanent. You really think that it's a expression of your unique character, and you're really sure that it will not disadvantage you in social situations where people might be kind of snobbish about this. And if those three are filled, then I would recommend after that you rent before you buy, meaning get a temporary tattoo for a few weeks, few days, see how that changes how people treat you, especially in terms of facial tattoos and stuff like that. See how that changes that, and basically just try it out before you get it permanent. And now some people say, well, now you can get tattoos removed, the removal is pretty good. Yeah, but still, I mean, regrets are I mean, it's kind of proof that, you know, impulse and judgment, you know, impulse is not, and yeah, regrets and all of that sense of judgment stuff is not firing correctly in your brain if you have to get a tattoo and then have to get it removed. You need to take stock of your life and how much you really are in control of your own facilities, rather how much you care about what other people think of you, and how much you're a tool to different sorts of societal brainwashing around you. I mean, there's so many things we could go into here, and ultimately, I don't have tattoos because it's my personal choice. Does that make sense? Anyways, let me know what you think in the comments, and if you don't respect me for not having tattoos, you can write that too. If you think I should get tattoos, tell me what you would think I should get. But I'm not going to do it. Catch you guys later. Bye now. Thanks for watching. And subscribe to the channel if you like this video.